Felicity Ward. Welcome to our picnic on the Fringe. You're now part of what I think of as an exclusive club.
I'm glad to be a part of that exclusive club.
You're glad, you're honoured in the sun, which is lovely as ever. Have you ever had it? I mean, because you said before we started that you sometimes do have picnics in Australia, which is where you live. Is that where you still live?
I do live in Australia.
Okay, but have you had a picnic at the Fringe before?
No. Oh. I've been invited to picnics at the Fringe before.
Okay.
But it's always that thing of you end up having a gig when all of your friends are hanging out, or you have to do like an interview in the meadows with biscuits and lemonade and stuff like that. Usually when I have a picnic, I don't have a fold-out plastic table. That is quite impressive.
I think a lot of people have been looking on with envy. I mean, the punters, there's lots of people around today, and I think they want some of the table.
Well, because the ground still has a little bit of damp in it. That's why you've thought ahead.
That's the issue.
Huh?
Yeah. So we're the guys laughing. You know, it's nice. It's
in your face, everybody else.
It's a little flimsy.
Yeah,
but we can live with it.
A strong wind would have this in half, but
you're a professional. You can deal with unexpected situations.
That's right.
I'm
I
sure.
think on my feet. I'm a professional. I'm not a table builder, though. So.
Now, so have you been to the you've been to the Fringe before? Mm-hmm. Many times, or
I was here 2009, 2010, and I do have biscuit in my teeth. So if I accidentally or sorry, no, it's like right.
Oh
it's
no!
Stuck. Yeah.
Christ.
But I'm quite uncouth, so I'm quite happy to dislodge that in front of you.
And then that will be a special treat later when you actually manage to do it.
And I go, dessert. Yes, 2009, 2010, and then I had last year off, and then I'm back again.
Right, back here.
And
it feels like coming home a little bit, does it maybe?
Yeah, I do genuinely love the city. I really love the city, and I love the festival. And I don't want to jinx it too much. This is sort of the calmest that I've been ever coming to this festival.
Oh, okay. Is that because you're...
The skies are going grey.
But is that because you're comfortable with the show, or
I don't know
comfortable
what
in yourself?
It is. I've tried to have a think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the first year, obviously, I was never going to be comfortable. I'd only been doing stand-up for about 11 months when I came over here last time.
That's
first time.
That's very early.
Yeah. But
Too early?
No, because I learnt more in the first month that I came here. The first festival I did, I learnt more than I would 5 years on the circuit in Australia. So
baptism of fire, like
really,
that. Yeah.
But just the opportunity to be able to do that many gigs and do your show every night 26 times, and just slog it out and build up a tolerance and an endurance. And that was great. And then, but it was obviously I was a little bit nervous and excited and crazy and all of that stuff. And then the second year I had a show that I really liked, but it was received very mixed in Australia. It had a very mixed response critically and sort of...
right, I see. Now, was it because it was challenging subjects?
No, it was just well, sometimes that's usually what happens with me anyway. There's always a bit of... But no, it was very different to the first show, and I think that people actually were disappointed because I didn't want to do a poor replica of my first show again.
So you went a bit too far the other way, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Well, the idea of the show was it was always supposed to be like a side project where I would do it once a week and then I'd have my main show. And it was an essay reading show. I'd written these essays, and I dressed up with a cravat and a pipe, and I had a cardboard fireplace and a dog, and it was stupid.
Okay, yeah, but quite nice.
Yeah, but very different to this sort of a stand-up show.
Yeah.
People were like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. All right.
This is gold. Yeah.
And then the next year I did a straight stand-up show, but that was I didn't bring that one over. I don't know. This show is done very, very well in Australia, and that might help as well.
But is there a slight nerve that it might not? I mean, now you probably know, don't you? But there isn't at all. Are we quite similar in our tastes?
Yeah, very. I mean, there's things that aren't going to work in Australia or here just because of people's tastes. You know? It's not to do with the cultural thing. There are tiny little bits that you go, oh, that gets a lot bigger laugh here, or oh, that used to do very, very well. Okay, and you just you make little adjustments. I don't adjust too much. I've done the show quite a few times in Australia, and it's...
But you know it well. I think that's the nice thing, because some people, they're coming up with a fresh show, and it's like, oh God, how are people going to take it?
Well, it's a long way to come to try out something new. If I lived here and this was the beginning of a national tour or something like that, then maybe I would start a new show here. But for an Australian who has to pay between $2,000 and $3,000 to fly over here.
Even to get here.
Just to get here, not even accommodation or food or anything like that. I don't want to bring something that I'm still trialling. That's just me. Other people can do it. I want something that is waterproof, that's right to go.
Absolutely solid. Yeah. So yeah, you're fairly well known in Australia, are you? I mean, that's my perception. I'm not an Australian.
You can. Yes, I am very well. Yes, that's whatever.
You say whatever you want.
Incredibly famous. No, it's. I don't know. You know, like some people know me very, very, very well, and then other people have never heard of me before. So it's. I don't know.
Well, it's the comedy scene. I mean, it's different, I guess, just because it's so big here. Is it sort of a bit of an adjustment? You kind of. Because I'm guessing it's a bit smaller and a bit more of an exclusive club in Australia, as opposed to...
It's just different. I mean, here it's, like, especially in London, obviously, there's so many comics. And there's lots of comics in Australia, but the thing about gigging in Australia is if you want to gig outside of the city that you live in, you have to catch a plane. Or you have to drive for 3 hours, which is okay, but, like...
But as a living...
like to headline around the country, you have to go and catch planes, so it's just different.
And is that what you do when you're in Australia? Are you flying around all the time?
Yeah, I spend a fair bit of time in airports, to be honest. Actually, this is the saddest... This is so sad. Because I'm very working class, and because I've been so busy this year, the best thing is that the fruits of my labour have... born a gold membership with Qantas for frequent flyers. So now I get free Qantas Club everywhere I go. I'm like, yes, I'll have that sandwich, thank you. Well, yes, another cup of tea. And you want to know something extra sad?
Okay.
I don't even know why I'm telling you this. When I'm having a bad day, sometimes I'll just go onto the website, go, yep, still gold. I don't know why.
No, that's nice. No, because it's
tragic.
No, but it's something you've achieved.
It is.
It's an achievement. It's an award in a way.
You've flown so much, you get a gold membership.
You've worked hard to get that.
I have.
You know,
I've been very tired for a very long time.
And you should relish. I mean, is it mainly free sandwiches? Is that the perk?
It's pretty good. Like. The Qantas Club itself is pretty good. It has very comfortable chairs and they have televisions and newspapers and it's free buffet, free bar, I don't drink, but free tea and coffee and juice and changes all the time and you can have a shower there and the bathroom's very ooh la la and you know.
Yeah.
It's warm. Pretty good.
Yeah, lovely. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, enjoy it. Don't be ashamed.
I am not ashamed.
But you say you don't drink. Is that because everyone's drinking in Edinburgh? Constantly, aren't they?
I know.
On tap.
I don't know how they do it.
But you just never have.
I have. I just don't anymore.
Okay.
But I don't know how you get through a month. Just like this festival is such a horrible, wonderful beast as it is. Mentally, it's hard enough to get through without drinking, but people who like hit it every day, I admire them. If anything, what a constitution.
Almost envious that they can get through it like that.
Yeah, well, this is sort of these are the two reactions that I get from telling people that I haven't drunk. When I say I haven't drunk for nearly 6 years, they go, ah. And they're sort of trying to figure me out. But when I say I haven't had a hangover for 6 years, they go, oh.
It's a sudden realisation.
That's the possibility.
Now, your show, Felicity, is at... Where is it?
It is at the Dairy Room at Bristow Square.
Bristow Square.
For Underbelly.
And at what time?
At 10 o'clock at night.
And it's the hedgehog dilemma. Yeah, so have you had a dilemma with a hedgehog? Is this...
No, the hedgehog dilemma is something that already existed that I found, and it was used a lot by Freud and Schopenhauer, and it's the... Get ready. This sounds a lot heavier than it is. The predicament that hedgehogs face in winter where they can either choose to curl up to each other to stay warm, but they can hurt each other on their spines, on their spikes, or they can stay by themselves and they don't hurt anyone or get hurt, but they could be cold and alone. And it's an analogy for human intimacy about whether we get in relationships at the risk of hurting ourselves and others, or whether we stay by ourselves, we don't get hurt, but we could be cold and alone.
Very deep.
Sounds very high concept. But I promise you there's heaps of dick jokes in it. Heaps of dick jokes.
And it's hilarious. Thanks so much for coming to the picnic.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the biscuits.
Very welcome. Very welcome.